We're going to take a look at another instruction. And since we're going to be here for a little while creating some code, I'm going to pin this down. And the instructions we're going to look at is the set coil and the reset coil. What the set coil does for you is whatever tag name you use in the set coil, when the coil goes true, it will turn on that tag name and leave it on, even if the rung goes false. So the set command or the set coil makes the tag name go true and leaves it true even if the rung goes false. The reset coil, when it goes active, takes the tag name it's controlling and makes it go off and leaves it off even if the rung goes false. So 1 turns the tag name on and leaves it. 1 turns the tag name off and leaves it. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to take a normally open contact and drag it out here. And I'm going to start typing selector switch 1. And we're going to use that. And at this output of that rung, I'm going to put a set. And I'm going to set the red light, just so you can see this operate. The next rung, I'm going to drag a normally open contact out here. And this one I'm going to assign to selector switch 2. And I'm going to go over here to the output of that rung and drag the reset instruction. And I'm going to reset the red light here. So let's look at this before we actually download it to the PAC and try it. And I'm going to unpin this so we can get the screen a little bit bigger. Zoom in a little bit. If this contact, this selector switch 1, goes true, we're going to set the light to the on state and leave it, even if the selector switch goes false. That's what the set command does. If this one goes true, we're going to reset the red light to the off state and leave it off, even if this contact goes false. So let's try it. We're going to transfer it to the PAC. Now, both contacts are showing a false condition. They're red. If I reach over and flip selector switch 1 to the on state, I see that the red light is set to the on state. Now, if I let go of the selector switch or turn it false, the red light stays. Stays on. And it's going to stay on. Now think about this once. Once it's on, what's the only thing I can do to it? Turn it off. And that's what the reset instruction does for me. If I reach over here and close selector switch 2, that reset it to the off state. And I let go of selector switch 2, the red light still stays off. What's the only way to get it to go back on? Close selector switch 1, let go of it, and it stays. It's going to stay because the command is set. It's set to the on state. Now, how do I get it to go off? Close selector switch 2. Let go of selector switch 2 or turn it to the false position, and the red light stays off. Now, something you want to be aware of here, folks, this is very important. This PAC executes from left to right, top to bottom. So if you set it and then reset it, the last thing that's done to it is reset. So reset will always, so to speak, win. If I reverse these two rungs, if I put the reset here and the set here, the set would be the last thing that was executed. So let me turn both selector switches on. Let's see what happens. What happens? This one sets it internally. It doesn't go to the real world output yet. It doesn't go to the red light to the output card. This is an internal. We only update the output cards at the end of the scan. So internally, we turn the red light on right here. But one rung later, what do? Turn it off. What's the last thing that was done to it? It was turned off. So what do we write to the output card? An off state. If I reverse these two, the priority would change. Set would be the last thing. Reset would be the first thing. And if they both went true at the same time, the set would be the second one executed, and it would win, so to speak. And I want you to think about something for a minute. If this is the start of a punch press, and this is the stop of the punch press, and you're on one side of the machine pushing the stop, and somebody's on the other side of the machine pushing the start, which would you want to have priority? Probably the stop. So normally in your program, the reset goes last. You don't have to do that. But in the majority of the cases, logically, you want the stop button to have priority over the start button. Just something to think about. So if I release them, now what happens if I close selector switch 1? Sets it to the on state. If I close selector switch 2, resets it to the off state. And that's the set and reset.